Oh, I'm sorry. I was digging the music, and I started doing the Kamala Harris head bob. Sorry about that. Now I'm at 21st edition of Two Bald Guys on the Right. We appreciate you tuning in tonight, and make sure to tell your friends, subscribe, and God bless America. Make sure and hit the little bell there, and it's going to notify you every time we load something up. What a busy week it has been. I can't believe it's already a Thursday. Tomorrow is a Friday, and we got a lot of things planned tonight. The president, it was supposed to be the debate.
Supposed to be.
So we know what happened with that. And we've also discovered that there are no Republicans on the committee, the debate committee. Not one Republican on the debate. Wait a second.
You think that's fair?
How the heck is that fair? Huh. But anyway, they said because of Trump testing positive that they could not, they wouldn't do it in person and they would do it virtually. And Trump said, I got rallies to do. I'm out of here. So ABC, Joe Biden, NBC will have the Trump town hall meeting. And last time Biden had the Trump town hall meeting, they was a setup. Yeah. They had supposedly undecided voters. Those were actually staged, and they proved it now. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm gonna go back and watch both. They're both at the same time. Little Don Lemon came out and said, "How can you guys take money from Trump? It's despicable." Wait a second. He's the president of the United States. And you know what? I'm a born again capitalist. I am. And if somebody is going, okay, we'll give you like $5 million to do this town hall. You know what I'm saying? When you want to do it. It's despicable? Okay.
Of course the left's going to say that. Anything that goes against what they believe, that they think they can. But you know what's despicable is what the left does on a regular basis.
Every day.
What Twitter and Facebook are doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's super, super, super sad. And Joe Biden, you know what? He's still not with us. He was out this week talking about he's running for Senate. Here's Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden is in the house.
We have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate.
Senate? Damn, can you imagine one day he's talking to Putin and going, well, Mr. Yang.
Oops.
Yeah.
I meant Putin. I meant Gaddafi. I meant Hussein. I meant,
So there have been several bombshells that came out, and we're going to dive into those coming up in a second.
Talk about October surprises.
Now, there was another bombshell that came out this week, but I don't feel yet that we can actually dive into it because it involves SEAL Team 6. It involves bin Laden. And the money that we gave to Iran was supposedly a payoff because bin Laden wasn't swimming with the fishes. He was actually in Iran. So we're not there yet on that. So we'll skip it. But a big weekend for, Supreme Court Justice. Well, if she's going to get the nod, and they'll take the vote. So Amy Coney Barrett was there, and it's amazing how smart this woman is. They came at her with everything. And you know what she said? Bring it. I got 7 kids at home. I'm used to this stuff. I'm used to answering questions. I ain't got yesterday was a pinnacle peak for me because I was watching and I can't remember who asked her, but they said, "Do you think cigarettes cause cancer?"
Oh.
What?
The idiotic questions. They're stalling. They're asking her everything under the sun, hoping to catch her in something so that they can maybe have some justification to not keep her. She is probably one of the most qualified, well-rounded, good. I mean, and even some of the left-wing reporters on some of these news channels are like,
Juan Williams said, I can't find one bad thing to say about her. And believe me, if you're a conservative, Juan will find bad things to say about you.
Sure he will.
No doubt. So let's roll the first video of she has no notes. She's talking right from the heart, right from the brain.
They're asking her lots of specific technical questions about specific laws and specific
cases,
precedents.
Case studies and stuff. And she just rattles it out there. And so they were kind of astounded that she had no notes.
Most of us have multiple notebooks and notes and books and things like that in front of us. Can you hold up what you've been referring to in answering our questions? Is there anything on it?
That letterhead that says United States Senate.
That's impressive.
Wow, that is impressive. But I'm going to tell you what is not impressive. The Democratic senator from Hawaii.
Oh, my God.
You know who that is. What's her name? Mazie Hirono? Anyway, she asks more stupid questions, and she always does. Let's roll the video from old Mazie.
And I will ask them of you. Since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No, Senator Hirono.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement related to this kind of conduct?
No, Senator.
What the hell? What the hell? I think she got the file out for Kavanaugh and just asked the same questions.
You're just going to ask a bunch of questions
Have you ever raped anybody?
She knows the answer too.
And you know what's terrible? Her kids are sitting there in the audience. Her kids are sitting there.
Wow.
And you're going to ask a question like that. It's terrible. Well, we remember from the Kavanaugh hearings, Mr. Spartacus himself, Cory Booker. You know, Cory Booker was a heck of a football player. He was a tight end at the University of Stanford. And, when he played football, I was like, man, this guy's a pretty good football player, but he's not really a good legislator. Here's the questions that he directly asked her. And you got to keep in mind, she's got two black children that she adopted from Haiti. But now we're going to dig into race. Let's play that race card. Come on, Corey. Bring it out.
I want to just ask you very simply, and I imagine you'll give me a very short, resolute answer. But you condemn white supremacy, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad to see that you said that. I wish our president would say that so resolutely and unequivocally as well. But we are at a time that Americans are literally fearful because their president cannot do that in the resolute manner in which you did. I'm sorry that question had to even be asked.
He said it 21 different times.
I don't know how else
he could say it.
And the Democrats continuing to say this. What it is they're just continuing to put this lie again and again and again.
And if
because
you say
people
it
are
enough,
stupid enough to believe it. That is so frustrating. I just want to grab him by the throat and just go, would you please? Can we play him all the videos of Trump saying it over and over and over every time he's asked?
The whole thing about before the debate where they brought up the Proud Boys, that Friday before that debate, he had just signed an executive order denouncing the KKK, denouncing Antifa, and the list goes on and on. But that is not enough. It's not enough. They're crazy.
They really are.
They really are. And so the question about, have you ever committed sexual assault? They asked her, it's kind of comical. Are you a racist? This and that, and
like she's gonna say yes if she was. Anyway,
yeah.
the whole precedent is stupid.
I just went adopted these kids.
Actually, yes. I just have these racist tendencies, and
that's why I adopted those kids. I mean, they do all the chores at home. They even asked her about who takes care of the laundry and stuff.
Oh, of course they did.
I was like, what a sexist question. But you know what she said? The kids do a lot of it. We're trying to get them to do more.
Heck yeah.
And you know what? We also visit the laundromat a whole bunch of times where we drop off our clothes to be taken care of. Thank you so much. I appreciate that question that you're worried. You want to know who cooks?
Yeah.
Stupid question.
You want to know who scrubs the toilet?
Yeah. What is going on Twitter and Facebook is sad.
Oh.
It is one of the saddest days in America where Twitter and Facebook can control what is news and what isn't news. I posted a story today on my personal Facebook story about Tommy Lee. Now, Tommy Lee was with Motley Crue. He said if Trump gets elected, he's leaving the country. So I got a friend of mine that posted on there, adios, and he used the Spanish word for bitch. And they put him on a 7-day hold because it goes against the community standards. That's a little confusing because I see it all the time, and it's on Facebook, where people are calling for police officers to be killed in the streets.
Yeah, straight up killed.
Kill
But
some piggies. Kill some piggies.
We've had people actually report pedophilia type posts.
Oh, no.
And them Facebook come back and say that doesn't go against our
Right.
standards. And it's like, what?
So anyway, Ted Cruz goes into great details, and he slammed unbelievable censorship by Facebook and Twitter for taking down this New York Post story. And what's crazy is that they just take it down. I posted it. They took it down. I posted the one that came out today. They took it down. The press secretary.
Kayleigh McEnany.
Anyway, she's got 1 million followers on Twitter. They froze her account because she refused to take it down. By the way, she's got a lot of people that follow her on Facebook. Guess what? They froze her account. She is locked out of her account. You know why? Because they said that they are taking the steps to limit the distribution until they fact check this thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think the fact check will finally come in. It's going to be November 4th by the time the fact check comes in.
Of course it is. We're going to find out a lot of this stuff that they've been reporting in the October surprise is going to be true and 100% accurate, and they're going to stall and drag their feet until
It's
after the election.
it's terrible. So Ted Cruz goes into great detail about what's going on today in America, where it's censorship, and it also is trying to rig the election and keep good information. We got the emails. What are you talking about? They're emails. We're going to dive into the story in a second. The emails are there. The pictures of Hunter Biden. It's his damn computer. Here's what Ted Cruz had to say.
In the last 2 days, we've seen a remarkable development. We have seen big tech. We've seen Twitter and Facebook actively interfering in this election in a way that has no precedent in the history of our country. Yesterday, the New York Post broke a story alleging serious corruption of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden concerning Ukraine. The allegations in the New York Post story, if true, indicate that Vice President Biden lied when he said he had never discussed his son's business dealings. That story, once the New York Post broke it, was blocked by Twitter and Facebook. Anyone who attempted to share it was prevented from sharing it on Twitter or Facebook. The New York Post itself, when it attempted to put out its story, was blocked on Twitter and Facebook. The New York Post has the 4th largest circulation of any newspaper in this country. Never before have we seen active censorship of a major press publication with serious allegations of corruption of one of the 2 candidates for president. That was last night. This morning, the story escalated and got even worse. The New York Post broke a second story of a series of emails that indicate yet more corruption. In this instance, the Biden family receiving millions of dollars from communist China government officials. Just minutes ago, I tried to share that story on Twitter. And Twitter is actively blocking, right now, this instant, stories from the New York Post alleging corruption and the Biden family receiving millions of dollars from communist China. This is election interference, and we are 19 days out from an election. It has no precedent in the history of democracy. The Senate Judiciary Committee wants to know what the hell is going on. Chairman Lindsey Graham and I...
So anyway, the point of all this is that they're going to investigate, but could it be too long? I mean, the investigation is not going to happen before the election. And as I dug into this story today, the FBI was given this laptop in August of 2019. 2019. So let's set it up for you. Hunter Biden, who has been hiding like his dad. Have you seen Hunter Biden on the campaign for his dad?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. So Hunter Biden brings these two laptops in and then leaves them there. And, after so many months, if you don't pick up your laptop, it's property of the, it's property of the, the company repairing it.
Sure.
And so that's the way the story went down. So I tell you what, this story, first it started talking about Burisma and Ukraine. And so the laptop fell into Rudy Giuliani's hands. Well, the guy that owned the computer shop, his name is Robert Costello. Rudy Giuliani's personal attorney is Robert Costello, but the guy that runs the computer shop, he called Rudy Giuliani. I don't know how they got together, but he got a copy of the hard drive before he gave it to the FBI. And the FBI has been holding on to it and not doing anything. Don't tell me the FBI is not part of the swamp.
Oh, sure.
Don't tell me that, because they are. So in this report, it goes into great detail about how much money that Hunter Biden was getting paid. It also goes into great detail about the $1 billion loan that was held up. Remember, Joe Biden was sitting in the tarmac of the airport and talking about, if you guys do not fire that guy, he's talking about the guy investigating Burisma, we're done. We're done. So, yeah, remember that? And he said, well, son of a bitch, he got fired. This is Joe Biden saying that. This is not me saying it.
Right.
So
he was pretty boisterous about that.
He was
bragging.
He was very proud of the fact that he held that money up. Do you remember when Trump said he was going to hold the money up?
Oh, that was quid pro quo.
Oh, that was okay. So this is a real quid quo pro. This is real. This is selling of America. And so it goes into great detail, and their emails. Let's go to the first email, Will, from the Ukrainian guy that's asking, can I meet your father? Well, the email talks about, hey, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and a great opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. Wow. So Hunter Biden all of a sudden gets this $50,000 a month contract. I wish I could find one of those. I really do. I wish I could find the contract where I get paid $50,000 a month. Email number 2 proves that this guy was in direct correspondence with Hunter Biden. And it wraps up with the second part of that email and Hunter Biden getting a check for $50,000 a month. And the crazy part of all of this is Joe Biden said, I never get involved in what my son is doing in business. I have never got involved in it. Really? Sounds to me like you got involved. You met with him. And I'm not buying this BS that, it wasn't on his calendar. We know
whatever.
That every politician out there has a calendar for personal and a calendar for
of course
business.
They do.
For government business.
For their not exactly on the level, type of meetings.
Some of the other stuff that was on this laptop included, and I'm not going to post the pictures of Hunter Biden and engaging in a sex act. We're just not going to. I'm just not going to do it. But there was also some drug paraphernalia that was involved in one of those pictures too, and we know that Hunter has a history of drug addiction. I don't know if you remember the story. I'll refresh it. He rented the car. He returns the car, comes back. They had already found his stash. They allowed him to take his stash. And we know he's gotten kicked out of the military for his drug addiction problems. Everybody wants to talk about, Trump is gross and this and that. Let me remind you, Hunter Biden slept with his brother's wife. And then during the relationship with his brother's wife, He impregnated a stripper in Arkansas and refused to pay child support for his illegitimate child.
You may ask, okay, so we're talking about Hunter instead of his dad.
Right.
But look at what the left would do to Don Jr. or what they have done to him. They've picked their lives apart. The nasty things they've said about Ivanka.
Unbelievable.
They've gone on and on. And so turnabout is fair play. And I'm sorry, but
well,
this is directly related to the presidential race because of what Biden had to do.
The vice president went to work to assure that his son made millions, and this isn't the first time. Joe Biden's brother has got contractor, he did to build housing in foreign countries. The guy's not a contractor. The guy's not his contractor. His sister has made millions of dollars. We talked early on about a movie that is on the Blaze Network called Chasing the Dragon. And I encourage everybody, it's $9.99 a month. I'm not here to promote the Blaze TV, but the $9.99 a month, they'll give you 30 days free. Go watch that. If you're on the fence thinking that you're going to be, I don't like Trump and I'm not going to vote for him, you need to think about this. This country was for sale under Joe Biden. And it was for sale to benefit his kid. His kid made millions. Well, let me rephrase that. Has made billions of dollars.
Oh, not just from Ukraine either.
No. So let's get into the next story by the New York Post. And by the way, I commend the New York Post for breaking these stories because the FBI has been sitting on these stories for a long time. And we got emails. So we got emails that reveal that Hunter Biden tried to cash in big on behalf of his family with the Chinese, the communist Chinese. We already know that he signed a deal with his brokerage company and they gave him a check for $1.5 billion. So this is a Chinese firm that they got together and wrote a provisional deal. And here's the email number one, if you'll show that. And they gave him a better deal than he thought he was going to get. It was going to be a 50-50 partnership in this deal.
Wow. And do you think that this guy who has very relatively little experience...
No experience.
...is going to get...
They guaranteed him $10 million. Now, why would they give him $10 million? I'm going to tell you why. Access. The vice president of Burisma told him,
$10 million per year.
Yeah, we need you to use your influence on your dad to help us. We need to use the influence to get rid of the guy that's investigating us, and they did. So in this story, it goes into great detail about what Hunter Biden was going to get. It's a 50-50 deal, but you're going to get paid $10 million a year. Look at Hunter Biden there. Oh, my goodness. He got 50%. FBI's got all this. I wonder why they have never done anything. So he signed a 3-year consulting deal with the communist Chinese firm to be paid $10 million. People want to bash Trump because he wants to get rid of TikTok because he doesn't want to give the Chinese any information. Here's Hunter Biden and Joe Biden just selling this country for everything it's worth. Access. We're going to give you access to the vice president of the United States. Is that worth $10 million?
Well, and what kind of things is that getting them? I mean, obviously, we know from lobbyists and other things how these politicians work.
Yeah.
So what kind of under the table deals did they work for in exchange for this job worth $10 million a year? And that's just one of them. Not to mention the shopping sprees. Not to mention the stuff from the Russian government that he got.
Oh, crazy!
I mean, these just keep on stacking up.
I mean, we know that the former mayor of Moscow's wife sent him a lot of money, and his name was tied to human trafficking. But this guy, his name was on the email, Mr. Yi, has ties to the Chinese military and Chinese intelligence service, and hasn't been seen since he was taken into custody by the Chinese back in 2018. That's why the deal went sour. The Chinese government stepped in. The whole thing. $10 million for what? $10 million a year for what? For access. Access to Vice President Biden. Access is worth a lot of money.
Well, and if all of these other revelations about SEAL Team 6 and about Osama bin Laden
Right.
are true, and all these things, and the billions that hundreds of billions of dollars that we paid Iran as a bribe, supposedly as a payoff
To get Osama bin Laden out of their hands.
So supposedly all of this stuff is on the level we're researching and trying to find and trying to get some more sources. But there's information coming out about that too that we were going to talk
The
about.
whole
in future.
idea when they said that they buried him at sea, nobody saw his face. I'm just like,
after all of the when Hussein was killed and all of the procedures they went through.
oh man.
How they took pictures of the body and they did all the DNA tests and they did to make sure it was him. And yet we're just going to mysteriously have the body disappear with bin Laden?
But part of this story was Benghazi.
Oh, sure it was.
Benghazi.
And Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and Barack Obama are all complicit in this scheme. And we have this whistleblower from a CIA informant that's everybody is saying that is with this in particular news network that has not gone any further than this yet, which is why we're kind of holding on to it. Everybody's saying that this guy's a credible source.
And supposedly, SEAL Team 6 was slaughtered to keep them quiet. And I am a conspiracy theorist at heart, no doubt about it. But if this comes to attrition, oh my goodness, this could it's terrible. And in the story, supposedly Hillary Clinton sit in SEAL Team 6 without the authorization of the President Barack Obama. So there's a lot of things that haven't been discovered yet. If it happens, hopefully it happens soon.
According to this, though, the president, the vice president, Hillary Clinton, they were all aware of the payoff.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, the billions and billions,
hundreds of billions of dollars.
By the way, two ball guys on the right. I'm back to the Red Bull. I am back to the Red Bull, so I'm still waiting on the sponsorship. So look, if you guys have a chance, I really need you to subscribe to our channel. We need 1,000 subscribers, and if you could do that and tell your friends, hey, get off your butt, go subscribe to Will and Kevin's Two Ball Guys on the Right, we'd appreciate that so much. More and more the CDC has come out talking about masks and talking about these numbers. I was telling Will earlier, my wife is Filipino. I was reading an article today. The Filipinos are starting to use a saliva test that they say is more accurate than the
nasal swab.
Yeah, a swab up your nose, and damn sure is not as painful. And, in the United States, we're doing blood tests. But this week in New Mexico on our morning show, we had a state legislator say, I said, why aren't we doing the blood test there instant? He said, because the state cannot control the numbers or the outcome.
What?
Say what? And I repeated, and he repeated the answer again. I went, oh, that's interesting. But the saliva test, because with the swab, they have to amplify it what?
30 to 40 times.
30 to 40 times. So they get a lot of false positives. They say this test is more accurate and being used in Israel, China, and there's other places it's being used. And maybe we'll get it here in America soon.
Well, if we're basing our shutdowns and these restrictions on the number of cases, not the number of deaths, not the number of hospitalizations,
right,
but the number of actual just positive cases, and yet 90% they're saying now are supposedly false positives, right, because of this amplification process, then we're locking down some of these states, New Mexico, where we're at included, for no reason.
We have had, I'm talking about in the United States, less than 1,000 deaths. Less than 1,000 deaths, I think it goes back now since August. So the number of deaths are actually going down. The cases might be going up, but the deaths are going down. So we know how to treat it better. And I am not. How long have vaccinations? I'm not thinking it's going to happen before the election. I'm not thinking. And you know what? Even when it comes out, I don't know if I'm going to take it.
There's going to be a lot of people that
I'm
won't.
very. And so the whole idea about the mask. Here's a guy getting kicked off of Southwest Airline. I don't know if it was about his mask or maybe about the hat that he was wearing, but he had pulled down his mask to eat some. He was eating some trail mix.
So we talk about his mask and his hat real quick. Because I don't think it talks about that, does it?
So yeah, it does. He's
Okay.
an African American guy. He's got a Trump mask on, and I think he's the hat reads, African Americans for Trump or blacks for Trump or whatever it is. And I think some little snowflake got very upset, and they kicked him off the plane. So, and everybody around him's like, "Can we eat on the plane?" He didn't lower his mask until he started eating. The guy next to him has a bag of McDonald's.
So the reason they're kicking him off the plane is because he removed his mask to eat.
Yes. So, and I think, I haven't flown since this, but I think that's okay.
Last time I
Especially if
checked.
they're serving meals on the plane. So here's Southwest Airline kicking this guy off the plane.
I was not here. The president, the crew has denied.
Okay, but you're seeing him with eating. So please tell me the policy. Tell the crew to tell me the policy that says he cannot eat with his mask off.
I'll call the police and have him. It's the hat.
It's the hat. It's the hat and the mask. It's not the eating. I fly 3 times a week.
Here's the deal. I haven't really done anything, sir. But you're being denied boarding by the crew. The crew is not going to take it.
What'd you say?
I said I'll go with him. If you guys don't want to go with him. I'll go with him.
Look at the bag. He's got McDonald's.
He's saying he's going with him if he gets kicked off.
Yeah, they're
So
both
can
together.
you clarify for us? Are we not allowed to take our masks off to eat on this plane? Can you please clarify? Are not allowed to take our masks off to eat on this plane or not?
Listen to the flight crew and follow their instructions.
So, are you going to tell us that we can take our masks off to eat on the plane? See, he did cooperate.
So he's gone. He's gone. Southwest Airline has not answered the complaint yet, and I would suspect that they would. Because, we talk about discrimination a lot.
If this was because he was black, if it had anything to do with the fact of the color of his skin.
Oh, my
But because
goodness.
he's a black man who's a Trump supporter, that immediately erases his race as far as what
But
the
no,
race
it does.
is concerned.
It
so
does.
It makes him on the bad side, so they can do whatever they want to him and discriminate against him however they want because he's a Trump supporter. It's absolutely unbelievable.
It's asinine. Number one, as a business, your job is to make money. In the airline industry, how much money have they taken from the government? How much money has Southwest Airlines taken from the government? But they can afford to kick people off the plane because they do not like the hat that they wear. I have never seen so many people get triggered over a damn hat.
And kudos to this lady for recording this. I mean, because she was just a third party that was just watching it and was just beside herself.
Well, she was outraged. She's
Beside
outraged
herself.
because she's eating and they didn't tell her anything. The guy across from him, they were flying together, actually had a McDonald's bag. He was eating. It's not that he was eating. It's that he's voting for Trump.
Right.
My God, we got 18 days left before this election. Please get out and vote. Your children's lives depend on this. Your grandchildren, your life. This is probably the most important election in your lifetime. Get out and vote, please. And I encourage you to vote for President Trump. Can you imagine Joe Biden as president?
Or worse, Kamala Harris, because that's what's going to happen.
I just can't. You vote with your conscience, but maybe you can use this up here. We're out.
Hey, guys, thank you very much. Two Bald Guys on the Right. Please hit that subscribe and like button, and make sure and check us out on Facebook and Twitter as well until they ban us, because I'm sure that's coming too. We appreciate it. Talk to y'all next time.